Hello, this is Barry, and you're watching Barry and the PI. This is my fourth video in the series of Texas football game hype. Last week, Texas played UTSA and had a kind of a poor start in the first half, but pulled through in the second half and beat UTSA by over 20 points. This week we are playing Texas Tech Red Raiders. Really, they should be called the Texas Tech Tortilla Tossers. So that's because they throw tortillas out on the field. They can throw tortillas better than they can throw footballs. So we should have a pretty good game this weekend, Saturday, but I expect Texas to pull through, and I think we're going to win. This is my prediction. We're going to have 46 for Texas and 14 for Texas Tech. Book it. Hook 'em horns. Oh, it'll be a good game. Texas Tech usually gives us a pretty good game, but I think this year the talent on Texas is just too great, and we'll defeat them pretty easily. So hook 'em, and that's my prediction. And tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in Austin. I was born in Port Arthur, where my father was an electrician for one of the refineries, and but my older brother was born disabled. His muscles just never developed in his arms and legs. But despite that, his physical handicaps, he was a genius mentally. And we moved to Austin because doctors had recommended that we take my older brother to Austin and put him in the Austin State Hospital. And so we moved to Austin, and but my parents decided, no, they're not going to put him in there. And my brother exhibited, mentally is just far above his age. He was about 4 or 5 years older than me. And we settled into Austin in Go Valley. That time it was a blue-collar neighborhood. Most of the people there were tradesmen and construction workers. So it was a pretty nice place. We lived right across the street from Go Valley Elementary School, and the principal there knew my brother and said, no, he can come to school here. And so that's where he went to school, fortunately. Unfortunately, I had to follow behind him. The teachers would say, your brother was the best student they ever had. And that happened all through my life. So he went to school there, and I enjoyed growing up there. And at that time, this is the 1940s. Yeah, that's how old I am. And I roamed the neighborhood all over the place. Uh, Along with my brother, I'd be pushing him in his wheelchair. And we'd always get up enough guys to play football or baseball. We didn't play that much basketball at that time. But and that's where my brother and I would go to the Longhorn games, and we eventually got sideline passes. First, I would just push my brother in his wheelchair, and they would open up the gates. We'd go sit behind the UT football team on the sidelines, and somebody told us to tell your parents to go to the football office and get sideline passes, which they did. And so we never bought a ticket or anything like that. I just pushed my brother up there, and they'd open the gates and let us go right on in. So I've been a lifelong Longhorn fan, and saw some great games at Memorial Stadium. Now the DKR Memorial Stadium. So that's what happened to me. I grew up in Austin up until I was sixth grade, and then we moved over to North Austin off of Woodrow on Harriet Court. And then I went to the first class at Lamar Junior High, and then to McCallum High School. And then I went into the Navy, and I chose during boot camp to be in Navy aviation, become an airman. And so I ended up becoming, I got my degree in archaeology and anthropology, and got a job as an archaeologist for a consulting firm. And then I decided, I had to go to graduate school. They wanted me to go to graduate school so I could head up the projects. And I went to UTSA, and then I got a job offer from the federal government with the U.S. Air Force. Now, I went to UT after I got out of the Navy. This was in the early 1960s. Fortunately, just before the Vietnam War started, I got out and entered into UT. So I was a teacher for a long time, both in Texas and in Arizona. As I went out to the Navajo Indian Reservation and got a teaching job there. And I liked it there very much. And one summer, before summer began, I don't want to sit around here. I've been to all the national parks out west, and I said, I'm going to go over to Asia. I've always been interested in Asia. And so that's where I met my wife. I don't know if she's here. Yeah, there she is. Say hello, Maida.
Hello.
We've been married, I think it's going to be 24 this
22.
February.
2.
22 years. All right. So I had taken a trip over to Asia, and I met my wife in Hong Kong, and where she was working as a nanny for a wealthy Chinese family, and we hit it off, and I said, I've got to get me a job over here, be closer to her. So I got a job in Taiwan teaching little kids English. And I loved it there. I had a great time teaching those kids. And they loved me too. And so that's how I came and explored, went to South Korea, to Taiwan, to Hong Kong, to the Philippines that summer, and decided I wanted to be over there. And so I did, and we got married here in the Philippines. It was an interesting marriage by the mayor of the town of Dasmariñas, which is right outside of Manila. And then I went back to the U.S., back to the Navajo Indian Reservation, and taught there and processed her papers, and she got her visa and flew to Phoenix, and I picked her up in Phoenix on Christmas Eve, and moved her as soon as, well, she couldn't get a job on the Navajo Indian Reservation unless you're a teacher or a nurse or a doctor. Most of the jobs are for Navajos, and rightly so. And so we lived in, well, I retired from teaching there in 2008. Yeah, and then got a job as a park ranger with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. That was a dream job. And that was in Virginia. And I had a year-long contract, and at the end of the year, we decided to come back to Austin. And we lived in Austin up until 2019. When my dad asked me, "Are you ready to move to the Philippines?" And I said, "Yep," because I loved it here. And so we sold our house in Austin and came here. And this is why I say I live in the jungle. This is my backyard. That big tree there is a jackfruit tree. Jackfruits are the size of watermelons. Imagine them a watermelon hanging off of this tree here. That's a cacao tree. Don't know when they'll get some more cacao. There's a banana tree. We might have just harvested that. It had a bunch of bananas growing on it. And so this is how I ended up here in the Philippines. We had a lemon tree and I can't think of the name of it right now. And this is my little paradise. And I miss the Texas games. My brother is a big donor, and he has 50-yard line seats. And he couldn't come up from Houston. He would let me have the tickets, and I sure enjoyed those. And so that's the story of Barry and why I'm here in the Philippines and why I liking it so much. I have a beautiful piece of property. There's another big two-story house going up that they're building right now. Okay, I just got to go show her. This is our newest member of the family. This is Venus. We've got 4 dogs, and we had this edition. We got now 5 dogs. We've got the two of my dogs are street dogs that they had adopted us, and they're glad to be here. Have good food. One of our workers said, "I want to be a dog." It's a dog. You get the good food. You get to go to the doctor, the vet. We take them to the vet, and one of our dogs is a Shih Tzu, and we take her to get groomed stuff. Some of the locals say, they live a better life than we do. So, but we love them, and they're good guard dogs. They won't bite anybody, but they just want you to come in. They'll bark a lot, and just want you to come in, and pet them. So my wife has got to go back. We started a liquor store, or she did. I won't do anything with it. So she goes back to run that business. She comes home and feeds the dogs and stuff, and fixes something for me too. Life is good. Even at 79 years old, it's good life. I don't know how the hell I made it this long. I haven't lived a real healthy life all my life. I smoke and I drink, and I used to chase women, but I can't. They can outrun me. I can't catch them. So that's it. I know it's a little long, but hook 'em. Go Longhorns. We'll see you again next week.